Hi students, welcome back to open house night, virtual style. If you're one of my students that will be in person with me, this is probably how you'll be used to seeing me. If you're one of my virtual learners, you might actually get to see my face from time to time. I wanted to show you guys a website that I thought would be helpful. Typically when students come to my class at open house, I go over what supplies we need. I might give them a copy of their syllabus or some things that we use in class. So what I've done this year is I've put those on a website instead. So this isn't my Google Classroom, but this is a Google website that I have created for you guys to use. So the web address is there. You can type that into your web browser and it should pull up my classroom. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up and show you. So it should look like this once you pull it up. Parents, it has my contact information there. Usually at open house, I'll have parents give me their email addresses. That way I can share out weekly newsletters, homework assignments, things like that, answer keys. So if you would like to be added to a parent email list, be sure to send me an email, maybe put parent list up in the opening line so I know what it is and who you are. But my email address is bottens, so BOTTENS @MinfordFalcons.net. So the first page is just kind of a welcoming page. Up here I have About Me tab, so if you want to learn more about me or see some pictures of me, you can click on that. And then I have our math class must-haves. So if you click on that drop-down link, the first thing it pulls up is the supply list. And for our class, I will be giving my students these workbooks. We can write in these workbooks. We get new ones every year. So you'll have a math workbook that you'll bring to class every day. I always tell my students to have some paper. I don't really care if it's in a notebook or loose leaf, as long as you have something that if we need to work out some math problems, you have a space to do that. And I always ask students to have a pen, preferably a red pen. It doesn't have to be red, but from time to time I'll have you guys go through and check your work, and I want to make sure that you're following along, and that's how I know is that I can see your corrections are done in ink. So I ask you guys to bring a pen. And then calculators are always a big question. We can use calculators in 6th grade. We don't use them for the whole year, but we do use them from time to time. I have a class set, and the ones that we use are the TI-15 Explorer. They look like this. I could probably bring them closer. So it looks like that. You don't have to buy yourself a calculator, but if you're at home and a virtual learner, you might want one. You might want to use the same one that the rest of the students at school use. Or if you're going to be an in-person student and you want to have one just to keep at home, you can do that. I will let students sign them out from time to time if I know we have homework where a calculator would be really helpful. But like I said, most of the time I make you guys use your brains instead of a calculator, but those are the ones that we use if you need them. I must be moving this with my back. And this also has some things on it from last year's supply list that I realize might not be available to you guys to purchase to bring in. But if you have any hand sanitizer, tissues, disinfectant spray, whatever you want to donate, I would appreciate. And I also always have a class prize box that I put candy in or little prizes, like I'll put Minford pom-poms or things like that in it. So if you want to donate to that, I give prizes away throughout the year for different games that we play and things. So if you want to donate to that, I would appreciate it too. So that's pretty much all the supplies that you would need. I also have under that same tab of must-haves my syllabus. It'll let me click on it. And it just, again, goes over what you're required to have, what textbook we use. Our textbook has a website where you can log on and see the entire textbook. You can see videos that go along with it. A lot of our tests that we take are on the website that goes with our book. So it has some information about that. I think I might have somewhere in here how you log into the Pearson website, and I will update that because it changes every year. So I will let you know once I know what your logins are, but I don't have those at this point. Weekly newsletters, I do give my students a weekly newsletter every Monday, or if we don't have school on Monday, or if your first day of school for the week is on Tuesday, I give you a newsletter that lets you know what your homework is for every day, what we're going to be doing in class that day. I'll have 5 extra credit questions on each newsletter that you can do if you want. You don't have to. And what else do I put on there? I put important vocabulary words, or if we have important dates coming up in school, like certain activities going on, I list those on there as well. And like I said, I do email those out to any parents who are interested as well. So I'll give the students a copy of that in class, and I will also send one home. And then I kind of just have what our typical day looks like. This might change some this year because I don't think anything is typical this year. So if you come into class and it doesn't look quite like this, just give me some grace and we'll adjust as we go. But typically you would come into my classroom, you'd get your bell work, you would sit down, and we would get started for the day. After we do a bell work or warm-up activity, then we would go into our lesson. And then normally I would let you guys work with partners to do some practice problems, but with social distancing, we might have to be a little bit creative this year in how we work with partners. So we might have to do some Google partners or something. So, and then I go over some behavior stuff and all of that. So you guys can take a look at this on your own time. I'm not going to go over every single thing. I do put on there Study Island. I do use Study Island in my classroom. Typically, I'll assign 10 Study Islands a quarter, but again, with the school year looking different, I might adjust that as well. If I think that is too many for us to get through in a 9 weeks, then I'll adjust accordingly. So I have how you get to Clever and log into your Study Islands. I go over how I grade everything, and yeah. So that is your syllabus. Another thing that I do every year in 6th grade is I make my students memorize their conversions because it makes it a lot faster for you if you have those memorized. I don't know why I couldn't pull it up. Ooh. We all love technology until it doesn't work. Well, you'll just have to trust me that if you click this, there's a thing that says conversions list. So if you're, and it won't pull up for me, if you're an overachiever and you want to start taking a look at that list and memorizing it, we'll typically have a quiz over those every week. Again, with us only being here half the time, we might not have them quite as often, but those are things that I expect you guys to learn. So how many cups are in a quart, how many quarts are in a gallon, how many feet are in a mile, how many centimeters are in a meter, those sorts of things. So you can look at that list and you can start practicing that list and memorizing that list. And we'll do some things in class too to help you learn that. I also have a parent digital resource page, so it goes over all the websites that I typically use. Again, some of my username information will probably change. I'll update that as soon as I know how we'll log into everything. Study Island, we should still log into it the same way. I do use Kahoot. Oops, you don't want to watch that. I put, some Math Antics YouTube videos, Google Classroom, Brain Pop, those sorts of things. And then I also have a picture of what our weekly newsletter will look like. And I'll probably post these to Google Classroom instead of to my own personal classroom, but if you wanted to see what they look like, this will give you an idea. This was one from last year. So I just put one up from one of the first weeks of school last year. So that is my website that you can look at if you want to know a little bit more about math class. Again, I've got my email address there if you want to email me and get added to my parent list. And then I'm going to attempt to move the camera around and show you guys what my math class looks like. I believe in another video we'll show you going down the hallway where each classroom is. I'm in room 206, but if you don't know how the classes are set up, that probably doesn't help you out much. So here's a look at my classroom. I'll try not to be too shaky with my camera. So my door says, "Welcome to 6th grade math," and it has a dinosaur crossing sign. And then we have my whiteboard. And we have my desk. On my back wall where it says Jurassic Park, I also put extra credit questions up there. They are different from the ones that I'll put on your newsletter. So if you want to take a look every week and do those, you can just do those on notebook paper. And we'll talk more about that when you guys come to class. I have my math word wall back on the back wall there. And then estimation station, we'll talk about what that is. And then I just have some fun posters. And we're back to my smartboard. I don't know if you can kind of see how I have my desk set up, but as you guys know, you'll be 6 feet apart. So what I was thinking was someone could sit here, and then you would have 2 desks to put your stuff on, because this year you guys will carry your Chromebooks from class to class. So I thought that would give you some extra space to set your math book or your Chromebook, and then you would have your desk. There are the wire racks underneath, but I know sometimes it's hard to get all your stuff, and I'm not sure yet how lockers are going to work, if we'll be going to those every period like normal or not. So I wanted to make sure you guys have plenty of space in case you got extra things. And then this would just be a placeholder desk, and then the next student would sit in the next set of double desks. So everywhere where you see 2 desks, you could sit there and then put your stuff on the other desk. So hopefully I have answered any questions that you guys have. If I've forgotten something, or if you think of a question and you want to email me, I check my email pretty frequently. And I will get back to you. But again, my name is Mrs. Ottens, and I teach 6th grade math. Ms. Brown also teaches 6th grade math, and I'm not sure if Mr. Snyder has a section of 6th grade math. So you might have me for math. It just depends what your schedule says. So take a look at your schedule on the first day of school, and we'll figure out if you're in my class or not. But if you are, I'm happy to have you, and I'm excited for this year. We're going to make the best of it, and it's going to be great. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.